Rolling. It's Susanna Troy. I'm here interviewing Joe Sanchez, who is in Florida, so I'm holding up this beautiful picture. Joe, I want to ask you about this document you sent me. It's of Internal Affairs. It's a complaint form. Tell me about this form. And we're going to relate it to Adrian Schoolcraft's battle right now. His trial starts September 2013, and Internal Affairs set him up, betrayed him, is what he feels. So tell me about the form you sent me, the CCRB. Go for it.
Okay, but first let me tell you that, let me first say that I personally know good cops that work IAB.
Okay, so you know good cops that work IAB.
IAB, four friends of mine, they're retired. They work for Internal Affairs. They were good investigators, and they did what needed to be done.
Right, and also it was a good cop that gave you this piece of information, that I'm putting on the blog. It was a good cop that gave it to you.
Yes, well, let me explain. With that, what happened was that back in July of 1982, I was doing some paperwork inside the 30 precinct when this Hispanic man walks into the station house asking how he can make a complaint about two FIAU officers. FIAU are Field Internal Affairs Unit. They work precinct level. And he wanted to make a complaint on these two officers who worked out of the 26th precinct. He spoke to me, and he spoke to Sergeant Urkel Guadioso, who was one of my supervisors. And he gave the names of these both officers as Detective Green and Lieutenant Becker. After listening to his complaint concerning these officers, Sergeant Guadioso wanted to talk to Captain Frank Beeler to see what he thought. Captain Beeler, who himself once worked for IAB and who once tried to convince Sergeant Guadioso to downgrade my annual performances rating because of complaints that I was arresting too many drug dealers and making too much overtime, he had no choice but to allow Sergeant Guadioso to go forward with this complaint and let him make a civilian complaint report. And if I may read the complaint to you right now, as this Hispanic man that came in with the complaint wrote, he says that on July 8th, 1982, I was detained and taken to the precinct on 126th Street. Then they tried to question me, especially try to make me talk about police officers I knew from the neighborhood. They asked me questions about question like, was I ever ripped off by police officer Sanchez, Guadalupe, Velez, Rodriguez, which I denied. Apparently, they got annoyed because I would not say the things they wanted on the tape. So they started to dig into my file, and they found a warrant. But what I'm complaining about is that the fact that these detectives had no warrant when I was arrested, and I was not allowed to call my lawyer until the recording was over. Anyway, they had no reason for questioning me or even recording anything because I know these police officers from the neighborhood. I have never had no involvement with any officers from the 30th precinct. Plus, on account of this little problem, I was locked up for 4 days, and my wife and kids could not get into the house because I had the keys. And my car was double parked for 4 days. The 4 tickets I'm going to have to pay, plus hotel for my wife and kids for 4 days. That was his complaint.
Wow.
That was his complaint.
And that was a CCRB complaint, correct?
Yes.
Okay, because I just want to fast forward to the future. CCRB, no offense again to any city worker that does their job, but here we are. That was 1982, and now in 2013 we have CCRB and Internal Affairs, many feel failing us or worse, betraying us. Go ahead, finish your point. Sorry to interrupt.
When this complaint was taken, I was allowed to keep a copy.
Because of a good cop. Because of a good cop. Made sure that you got it.
Yes. He says, Joe, keep this. As a matter of fact, the sergeant said, keep this copy because one day, you never know, it might help you out in some way.
God bless that guy for doing that. God bless him.
Yes. And as a matter of fact, Guardioso was, like I said, he was a good sergeant. And my captain, Frank Beeler, tried to convince him. That was even written in the newspaper where it said, where John Mazzulli wrote that I was unjustly treated.
Yeah.
And injustice system KO super cop. He even wrote that little scene there with Guardioso told John Mazzulli that my captain tried to convince him to downgrade my annual evaluation because I was making too many collars, arresting too many drug dealers, and the drug dealers were making complaints on me.
Unbelievable. But you were betrayed by Internal Affairs. That document proves Internal Affairs was trying to coerce a local community member to say that you were stealing, correct?
Correct. And this man denied it, and this man wanted it on paper. And of course, this was like I just told you, this was in July of 1982.
Mm-hmm.
And this was, a matter of fact, this was what, 4 months after I had made the arrest with my partner, where we arrested the 6 drug dealers, who eventually wound up testifying in the grand jury that I ripped them off.
Which was a lie, and it was a setup by Internal Affairs on behalf of what I call the bad lieutenant, Lieutenant Weber,
yes.
Correct?
Correct.
Okay,
correct.
I want to tell you, I just made a complaint against Internal Affairs, but in 2013, if you make a complaint against Internal Affairs, guess who you have to go to? To Internal Affairs, who I've listed them in a lawsuit against the city because they've been sitting on the fact I was violently assaulted, and Detective John Vergona, in my opinion, fixed it. It was at a medical office, and I also complained to CCRB about every NYPD officer, and guess who they turned it over to? Internal Affairs. Joe, you know that Adrian Schoolcraft's trial is starting September 2013, and what I want to tell the audience is I'm going to be interviewing you through the entire trial for your insights, because here we have 30 years ago, you went through what you went through. Adrian now has been kidnapped, and it doesn't look like very much has changed. Thank you for that document. Anything else you want to tell people for this segment about Internal Affairs using coercion and threats?
Well, Adrian Schoolcraft, he hit a triple. He needs a good lawyer now to bring him home.
What does a triple mean?
In baseball, he hit a triple. He's on third base now. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
He's going to trial, and he needs another batter there. He needs a good lawyer to take the next swing and bring him home. He's
got good lawyers, and also the media cannot kill. You had an experience where I believe it was NBC came in and interviewed you, and they killed the story. But this time, the media has been covering up. The NYPD is in charge of the press passes. But when this trial happens, the story cannot be killed. And your story, Benjamin Ward could have reinstated you. He did not do that. We have documented proof of people requesting it. His role was shameful. He has now passed away. But what I wanted to say is I've written Charles Hines, Commissioner Kelly, and Mayor Bloomberg to reinstate you so that you can say you're a retired NYPD officer, not a former. You have been exonerated, but the city of New York, whether it's with this mayor, the next mayor, I will not stop. I want you and your wife and your sons, your family, to be issued an apology. You deserve an apology because what we're proving here is 30 years of proof of retaliation by the NYPD, at times using the Internal Affairs, and every system has failed, Internal Affairs and CCRB. So what do you have to say for your final words to our audience in what's going to be a series on you and Adrian Schoolcraft and even me? Tell me.
Well, first of all, let me say that Benjamin Ward did me wrong, but he's passed away, and God bless his soul.
Okay.
I want to make that known.
Okay.
And I just want to continue to, tell my story, and hopefully better things will come out of this. Not just for me, but for future officers that will come.
Absolutely. For the future NYPD, and for the people, us civilians that are policed by them, and for the police that are there that are good, that don't want to be part of this. Also, I'm a lot angrier than you. I am not a fan of Charles Hines, but you also wish him well. You perceive him to be a friend, and he wanted you reinstated. I just don't feel he went far enough. But tell me what you have to say about Charles Hines, and then we'll talk for next time. Thanks, Joe.
Well, I wish him the best. God bless him. From what I know, he has his up and downs. He's had problems as a special prosecutor. He had problems at the Brooklyn DA, which he's been the Brooklyn DA for 23 years or more. And I consider him a good man, but he's human. We all make mistakes. And unfortunately, he wasn't able to convince the police commissioner, Benjamin Ward, by telling him, listen, I know this man did no wrong. He should have never been arrested. It was an illegal arrest, an illegal indictment. Now,
correct.
Back on the job. He didn't go that far. So, but again, I have no animosity towards
Charles Hines.
I have no animosity towards him, and I consider him
Okay.
Good, man.
Thank you very much. Bye.
Bye now.
Oh, wait, don't hang up. Okay.